I remember Vatsala being in the Castle Green Hotel in 2018, and you were talking about ontologies, and I was fascinated because you were looking at all these patterns on the screen, and I didn't really appreciate what an ontology was. And here we were, this room full of people with loads of different disciplines, and I wanted to know that it's really easy, or it seems easy to me, for you to visualize and analyze quantitative data, the stuff that comes in numbers. But I wanted to know, how can you visualize data that isn't numerical? And I'm a poet, so I work with text. So I think that was where the sparks of the ideas came, of working with you to visualize data that Rob and I were gathering through our project.
Yes, indeed, Harriet. So I was working the biodiversity sprint around that time. So I worked with textual data, which was a first for me as well, because I had to extract information from a corpus, botany journal. So we extracted the data, and let's say I've used the data to analyze what kind of information was stored in that journal. But from then, I was quite interested to know how you can visualize that. So are there any kind of tools, any technologies that's out there that can help you to visualize textual data? Because so far I've found like most of the tools are around numerical data. You can draw box plots, bar plots, histograms, all kinds of stuff, pie charts. But then what about textual data? Because this is also data. So this is where we came together, I think, in this work.
Yeah, that's right. And the project that Rob and I were doing, looking at lots of different elements of the same landscape, and trying to work out where the crossovers were between them. You could say that the data was coming forward through conversations and poetry, and the visualization of that was through photography. But in the context of this digital work, we wanted to take it that one step further. So, coming to you and thinking, well, what can you do? How can you play with this so that meaning and values and the way people perceive things can be fed into the models that you're feeding the other data into? And so we're like, well, how are you going to do that? What are you going to do?
So then I look at some tools out there. So I found a very nice one, which is called the Scatter Text Library. So basically what it does, it tries to assign a score value, a weight, to the keywords that you have provided in your document. So based on those keywords and the weight, the tool tries to associate which keyword pertains more to a particular category, for example. So in this work, we are looking at all the kinds of, let's say, opinions of people for the green nature, like the district. So we categorize them as per like age categories, 10 to 44, and then above 44. So that scatter text library allowed me to generate those associations and then draw the visualizations. So that was a quite interesting piece of work, because normally when you look at a table of data, it can be quite intimidating, but when you visualize it, it's quite interesting. It brings out a lot more information.
Yeah, so we were working with more than 230 written responses to questions, including what do you hope for your future and what do you fear future generations won't witness in the context of the environment. So you had a lot of words to deal with, and we came out with these graphs that showed a tendency for people to talk about certain themes. So in some respect that brought out the value, and for me it was really interesting because it provided material for future poetry, and that's quite exciting. And then we went one step further and used algorithms to ask the computers to write poetry. And I think we agreed that at least where we got to, that wasn't very satisfactory, and you had to work with a human being as well. But I'm really interested what you see is coming next in this work, because we've only just started, we've just played around with it. So where could we take it next?
So from my perspective, we have lots more to do with the data wrangling. For example, you can create your own stop words. For example, we have general stop words like and, the, or, of, that you can remove from the text and just focus on the main keywords. So you can also remove other keywords. You can specify your own, let's say, stop words and work more with these kind of tools. And then probably if you have more responses, we can show better demarcation between different categories. So from this point onwards, I would think we can look at topic generation, like what kind of topics people are talking. So there's lots more to do with this work. I think we just started, just a start.
Yeah, and we can just take it from here and make it poetic as well as analytical.
Yes, definitely.